This is He Said, She Said, brought to you by the Urban Breakdown Podcast.
Number one, baby.
Mercedes, let's go. He said, she said, what did they say? He said, she said, what did they say? He said, she said, what did they say? He said, she said, check out what they say. What did he say? What did he say? What did she say? What did she say? What did he say? What did he say? What did she say? What did she say? Hey.
Okay.
And welcome to another episode of He Said, She Said, featuring Odie, Mercedes, Vann, and Khristopher Blue from MrBlue.net, representing that West Coast like we do, Compton for life. Anyways, in today's episode, we're going to talk about do finances hurt romances? And we have several different segments. We're going to start off with the always lovely, always eclectic, Mercedes Wright.
Awesome. So my blurb for this particular topic is about the it's a very popular topic during this time of year. Who claims the kids? So most women that I come across anyway, they typically feel like, especially when the relationship is ended, the kids live with me, I should claim the kids. Not taking into consideration the fact that this father, I'm only mentioning actual fathers who are in their child's lives, who pay child support.
Like actually present.
Yeah, there's no point in mentioning a deadbeat because he doesn't deserve to get a tax break, in my opinion, not off his children that he's not taking care of. So for the fathers that are there, what is your take on, like, how should the split of the kids when it comes down to taxes, how should it be? Now, legally, there is no real legal thing behind it. If you got 3 kids and you and your baby daddy agree, hey, I claim 2, you claim 1, that's what it can be. You don't have to put it into any type of legal documentation necessarily. Sometimes in a divorce decree, it may be mentioned, like, how it should be split. But what is your take on it? Like, how do you feel about a woman basically saying that since they live with me, whether you take care of them or not, I should claim the kids and I get a tax break?
All right, let's start with Vann.
Well, the married man.
I deal with the situation because my son is with my ex, and I've done that once before and didn't do it again because when I did it, she asked for half of the finances that I got back. And there are legal ways to do it because she has to sign, make a documentation, send it in, get it notarized, from getting notarized to it being filed with with child support and all this. It's a whole entirely long, extended, and something that I don't feel like doing again and won't do again because it's a headache and unnecessary. Let her keep it because that's the only thing she wants anyway. So
normally when legal stuff like that comes into play, there's a breakdown in communication, and she's either trying to stop you from claiming the kids or something. Because honestly, like, they didn't even put it in my divorce.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I thought it was. I've watched a lot of like People's Court, and I remember there was a couple up there once that was suing for like tax return money for their kids or whatever.
That's because of the draft act.
It's basically whoever gets there first gets to claim them.
It basically really, that's why I said there's no real legal thing. Like, I mean, it can be considered tax fraud if you claim all 3 kids and she keep claiming all 3 kids. Eventually, you're both going to get audited by the IRS. It's going to happen. But what I'm saying is, if y'all got 3 kids and just a verbal agreement between the 2 of you, who claims 2, who claims 1, or in my case, I got 5. I claim 3, he claims 2. So, there's no point in me even claiming more than 3 because you can't get a child tax credit for anyone anyway. And he actually gives me some of his tax money. Vann just said he was told to give half. I didn't ask for half. I didn't ask for any. He was like, some of the times, I got behind in child support a little bit. How about tax time? I give you $2,000 to kind of catch up where I fell behind. That's fine. And when it was time for tax time, he didn't know I wasn't going to take the whole $2,000. I took $1,000 because he still came and got his kids every weekend like he was supposed to. So there's got to be some fairness here.
That's no such. The reason why I laugh is because there is no fairness. There's no such thing. When it comes to those particular situations, like men are second-class citizens.
I'm sorry.
It's not false. It's 100% true. Men are second-class citizens when it comes to a woman and their kids. Second-class. Reason why is because any judge, I don't give a John Brown if it's male and or female, any judge will go with the woman way before they go with them. That's an automatic guarantee. Automatic.
So you're saying that
the
justice system,
you heard me.
is meant for the woman.
Broken. Completely
It's meant for
broken.
the woman.
Completely broken when it comes to a man and his kids. Broken completely. You get it.
All right, well, let me give you a scenario. Hold on, let me give you a scenario. So, like, I had a situation in which
Are you on mute?
Nah.
Oh, I'm about to sign
we cohabitated, you know, man, woman, 2 kids, whatever.
Living in sin.
Living in sin like a mug, but you know, who's to say it's a sin? Because maybe in your mind you are a covenant versus somebody writing down a paper and you swearing by a man who's a priest or whatever. You know, don't even get me into that. Marriage is a man-made covenant. Understand that.
That'll be another episode. He said, she said.
Okay. So the key point was this. So I was like, you carry one, I carry one. And, you know, the whole riff of that, Well, you don't do no more for them than what I do for them. You know what I'm saying? I pay child support. I mean, not child support. I pay child care. I feed them. We go half and half on everything that pertains to the kids. But she made a point that had to shut down that whole argument. She was out of work for like 3 months. She got them kids. She got herself and them kids on Medicaid when that son was born, so that she could have coverage, medical coverage. So now, because it was a tax thing, now she got to claim them, and no one else could claim them because the taxes are kind of tied into
it's an overall like an umbrella.
Right, for that insurance thing. See, that Affordable Care Act jacked more than what we thought jacked up in that way.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are going to find themselves getting audited that never got audited before just based on that premise. Their kids were living with their mother who had them on Medicaid, and you carry 1 or 2 of them. They're not on your insurance or the insurance that you have to put in for the Affordable Care Act for when you file taxes. Boom, game over, tax your ass, audit, give me all that shit back or go to jail. And that's all I got to say about that. West Coast, condom for life.
Okay, so
another thing is that on that point that you just made is that, like myself, I know that she works for a government entity. And prior to the situation of me paying child support repeatedly, I was working for the government and she wasn't working. So now that she has a job and is working and finances are coming in and frequently for her and all that stuff is good, me, since I don't live where she lives because she filed the claim there in upstate in Jersey, I have to physically go to Jersey and redo the whole entire thing so that she, like, if I felt like being a pure
petty
asshole, if I felt like being a fucking dick, I could. And bring that, but automatically bring her to court to get completely audited for the monies that I sent her that she didn't deserve. But I'm not that guy because I love my son. It's not about her.
true.
I can give 2 flying fucks about it.
Yeah. Well, this is what we did because it's what Blue mentioned earlier. Like if you're not covering the kids under the tax thing, not only will you can be taxed for it, or I guess hit for it or whatever. You may not get like the full tax return you thought you were going to be. You have to pay a fine or a penalty for it, but you can claim the kids. But what we did just to make it easy, we both put the kids on our insurance so they double cover, so the government asks no question. Just got out of the way.
My insurance too.
Yeah, that's what I did. I was
not only is he on my insurance, he also has a life insurance policy that was made by me, a college fund that was made by me. So certain things that she probably doesn't have in her mind or implemented at all, I already have done.
Yeah, Yeah, see, that's the thing too, and
I'm
also,
always put as the deadbeat dad though. And that's another thing that y'all females do that is unnecessary to
well,
it.
don't you say y'all. Don't you do that. I will say one thing: women will play the victim, and get away with it. They have they mama backing them, their grandma backing them, their homegirls backing them, all because of a one-sided story. Well, there's always three sides to every story, and it's his, hers, and the truth. But they'll back you and back her and call you a deadbeat all day, not knowing what really went on. So I've seen situations like that too. And then they say, "Oh, he's a deadbeat. He's not there." Well, he already doesn't live in the household. How much more do you want? If he comes and get his child every other weekend, he's paying child support on time. What are we talking about? But then you got them baby mamas that'll hold a baby from you and not let you see the baby and then call you a deadbeat. And I hate to say it, but I grew up like that. That's my mama was just like that. And my daddy, after a while, he backed off. He was like, you know what? I'm going to call my daughters. I'm going to write letters to my daughters when I'm overseas. I'm going to contact them through my mama and their other grandma. But I'm not coming around like that. And my daddy didn't come around for like 6-7 years one time. And I don't blame him because it was a headache. When it came down to claiming the kids, that was not an option because he had a new family. Claim your other new kids. That wasn't an option. So, yeah.
I hear that too.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying,
Yeah.
I'm dealing.
It was that was just the story of my life when I was growing up as a kid. I don't do that now. See, another reason I don't do that now, I know what it felt like. It hurt, and I know how much my kids love their dad. Now, in my situation, my oldest 2 kids have the same dad, and my youngest 3. So I have 2 baby daddies. And the first one, he doesn't even ask to claim the kids or anything like that. We don't even go down that road. He pays child support. He lives in Atlanta. He doesn't get to see him very often, but he does call. So he really don't ask nothing about no taxes. Ex-husband, he takes care of all 5 of them. So I feel like he has the right to get a tax break. And on top of that, he's legitimately taking care of the kids all year. See, what it comes down to, aside from is just some extra money that someone is getting, these people have to pay back. If my ex-husband files as a single man with no dependents because I want to be selfish, he's probably going to have to pay the government back. I already make more money than him. So if he has to pay back, who is it really hurting or benefit? It's not benefiting me by any means.
Let me ask you this though, like, what are the rules though on? Because I legitimately have no dog in this fight. I was telling Lou, I'm single. I don't have any children. Like, no dog in this fight. But I do want to know though, like, what are the rules? Because there was a video I was watching the other day, and it was basically like, it was one of those videos we talked about before. I think on the 360 podcast, where it was a man impersonating a woman. He was wearing a wig. And basically he got on the phone and said, oh, hey, baby daddy, whatever, Ray and Dee Dee got the tax return back, where I checked what he was saying was that I checked the welfare card and I just noticed that your income taxes must have just hit. And basically the character goes on to say, oh, well, that's my baby's money. I'm not giving you none of it back. Because apparently, like, he was in the rears in the scenario. Yeah. And he said, I'm not giving any of the money back because that's my baby's money. And when I looked through the comments, the consensus was, well, at least she was saying, well, all that money is going towards the children. Regardless of who claims the kids on the taxes, does the money have to go, or like within your own relationships? Is that, because I know it doesn't have to, but within your own relationships, are there like specifications to be like, okay, this much is going to be allocated to the kids or not?
Yeah, our agreement was, when he handed me the $2,000, I put $1,000 in savings, and then the rest would kind of cushion where he missed paying child support last year. Like, some weeks he might have missed. So that's what it was for. And he knows I don't waste money. I will sit on money forever and a day. Like, I save money like crazy. If you've ever met the worst hoarder in your life, I hoard money because I just can't. I can't fathom the point of being broke and then also know my kids that have to go without. And he knows that. So when he hands me money, even when it's just regular child support, he knows it's not going to go to waste. So we made an agreement to just save money. It's like, even what I'm not supposed to save, I'm going to save it anyway. So it's really, with me and him, it's more so, well, I know Mercedes is going to do it anyway. So he really doesn't say much. So so like.
Let me hold something. Shit.
Let me hold $5.
I'm trying to tell you, I have been broke before, and it did not feel good. Past 3 years has been all credit building, saving money, and getting right for my kids after the divorce. And that's another thing. He knows he was the cause of a lot of it, so he doesn't question me about money at all. When it comes down to claiming the kids, he don't even ask what the agreement is. He know what it is, and he just sends me the money. I was sitting on the couch, just scrolling through my phone the other night, and here comes $2,000. Like I said, I'll send him $1,000 back. And he was like, I'm gonna go ahead and just put it in a little savings account since you don't want it. I said, cool. And that was it. And he doesn't ask any questions.
Man, what's up with you?
I wish I could have him on the podcast right now. Him and the kids are headed down the road to Savannah, but he would verify everything that I said. Like, we don't argue about no money, because at the end of the day, like I told him before, when he was having a hard time, like during the year, he still found a way to get gas money and a way to feed the kids, to come get the kids when he might have been without a job for a month or two. He never failed at doing that. He made sure he had a way, or at least had enough money saved to make sure his car note was paid up a little bit so he could come pick up his kids, so he wouldn't have a repo or something. So if he's working that hard to do at least that much, I can let him claim the kids and get a tax break, because what we do every year when we do our taxes, before we put the kids in, we'll start over from scratch. And I think he would have paid like $1,800 back if he didn't have the kids to claim. And I would have paid like $3,500 back if I didn't have the kids to claim. Then we put the kids in, and then our tax returns he might get like 5, I might get like 8. So somewhere around in there. So we just don't talk about it.
I don't have that option.
It cuts down on arguments.
I mean, wait, hold on, Vann. So, but does she your son is not without though, right? So there is like
never
a presumption there that she's doing.
My son is
like she's doing what she's supposed to do with the funds, right?
I know. My daddy knows he has a daughter too. Trust me. He's never without, ever. And even when I text and ask and call, when I text, she doesn't answer. When I call her, she don't answer. I gotta go through my sister. I ask my sister to get the information that I need, because she took it upon herself. Like I've had this conversation with you guys. She took it upon herself to disconnect communications with myself and my son. She did this on her own. And when I go through the avenues of going through individuals that I know she converses with, or know she can talk to, like my sister, my mother, my brother, I'm saying go through those people because I know she won't disconnect away from them. I asked her, I sent her a message the other day asking her, like, what is going to happen when my son gets, when he starts to think on his own and starts to say, you know what, hey, how come I'm still talking to my uncle? How come I'm still talking to my aunt, my grandmother, but I can't talk to my dad? And he's going to start to ask these particular questions, and I'm going to continuously text her, continuously call her, and try and talk to my son. And even if when he's with my sister and my brother, talk to him that way. But when it comes to the monies, there's no such thing as communication with her. There's none.
How old is your son?
He's 6.
Okay, he's young right now, but you do know at the age of, I think it's 12 or 13, you can take her to court for custody based upon what he wants. Basically, that's when they let the child speak. So, like, for example, of course, my best friend and his baby mama, they have a great, connection now. But in the past, as much as his son loved him, she wasn't that. The baby mama was a bitter. So there was that wedge there. So he considered it too. But now him and his son are close. They spend enough time together. There's no baby mama in between. She's very fair. But I had this conversation on my live the other day. We were talking about, like, if your sons got down to the age of like 12 or 13 and decided, hey, I want to go live with daddy, would you let them? Yeah, absolutely. And it's not because I'm going to be any less of a mother to them, because I'm going to still be there for them. It's just that we forget that, especially our sons, no less our daughters, but especially our sons, need their fathers and that male figure to raise them the right way. So from 13 to 18, which is a very, very serious time in a teenager's life. I mean, it changes, all kind of changes. I think they need a male perspective. I've been called crazy for that. If either one of them, because I have a son by each, if either one of them say, you know what, I feel like now that he's almost a man, it's time for me to raise him and do the part to make sure that he doesn't step into his 20s and ignorant to what a man is supposed to be. I'm going to give my kids to my kids' fathers, legally, of course. I'm going to do it. And again, it's not making me any less of a mother. I'm going to continue to raise my daughters as I should, but I need my men to be the men that they're supposed to be. My sons, I mean, the men.
And claim them on the taxes. Hey, no, I'm kidding.
Well, one of them already claiming. The other one, like I said, don't even ask. But hey, you have somebody claiming that point until he's 24. So, and it's like, that's another thing. When it comes down to, I know I had a situation, two different situations with friends where this one he actually took care of the child up until the child was like 15, and recently found out like 2 weeks ago the child wasn't his. And this was coming up to the point where she was going to so-called let him claim her on his taxes once it was time for her to go off to college, which is stupid, but whatever, because she would still technically be a dependent, but whatever, that was stupid. But the child ain't even his, so now he done paid for a child for 15 years ain't his. But then I had another situation with another friend where his was kind of similar. His child, but the child is his. He was coming up on the end, and now the child was 17, and the baby mama promised, oh, you can start claiming her, after her freshman year. Never happened. She's still claiming the daughter and making excuses. And the daughter is working. And guess who takes her to work every day and back and forth to other things that she's involved in? Her dad. But the mom still won't let him claim him. So it's so much selfishness that goes on during this time of year till it isn't funny. In other words, this is and this is exactly how I see it. Baby mamas want to throw the word co-parent around until it's tax time. I kid you not. It makes absolutely no sense. And that's true. Honey. They want to go to the Bahamas with their friends.
Court, and that word is thrown around all the time. Let's figure out this co-parenting thing. Like, it sounds good, but execution is definitely messed up. I basically, again, as a person with no dog in this fight, I wish I could claim my dog on my taxes, but since I cannot, I think my takeaway is really, we'll talk about that on another show, prenups. So I think when it comes time for marriage, people like to hear the word prenup and then they get turned off by it, and they think about all the things a prenup can and can't be or should and shouldn't be. But if I do in fact have a prenup, I think I'm really going to put a clause in there about that goes into the detail of who's going to claim the kids. I guess that's more so for a thing for divorce decree, but yeah, I think I'd almost rather put it in the prenup. It sounds like a headache to try to figure out when you're not speaking or fucking with somebody in the end. So
here's the thought. The thought is this, because because Mercedes has this dynamic fucking thing going on with her ex, which is odd as fuck.
Everybody says that. I swear to God, everybody said that shit is weird. It doesn't make sense. Why do you guys?
I can honestly tell you that it's probably very rare and very rare, and it's across the board of all races. It's very rare, very rare.
Yeah.
And me personally, I would put it in a clause in a prenup as well, because I'm not the one to play with, and my ex knows that too. That's why she's having a lot of conversations with my lawyer, because I'm the wrong person to fuck with when it comes to my son. And she is not gonna I'm not gonna be nice to her no more. My kid gloves are off, and she gonna get hit all in the face. That's just my
Same. I don't blame you.
Well, shout out to you for fighting for what's yours, man. I mean,
yeah, it does. And then, like I said, back to the co-parenting thing, these baby mamas will want to go on trips to the Bahamas with their friends and want the kids to be somewhere. They want to go to Vegas. They want to do all these things. They want to, I guess, start their own business. But the moment the man needs something, there's no co-parenting on that side. She's not there for him anymore. When my baby daddy called me and told me, hey, can we switch up weeks because I want to go out of town for, I went out New Year's, but I think he went out of town like the week after. Yeah, I'll double up a weekend, but then that means you're going to double up a weekend. He was like, okay, cool. Just have him ready. And he don't ask no questions. And that's the way it's supposed to be. There's no way to raise these children in a healthy environment any other way. Point blank, period.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
And my kids are completely and utterly happy.
That scorned woman. You was a scorned joker, boy, because you madder than a mug. Here's the thing is that, you know what I'm saying, when I warn people, my ex, she knew that I was a dog, and she knew how I went around.
Sorry.
She knew this shit. I'm not one. Listen, as far as the conversations that we have, you guys know how I come off. I'm not a liar. I'm a truth teller. I don't give a John Brown if your feelings are hurt or if they're not hurt. If I tell you that I don't want to get involved and I tell you that I don't want a relationship, and then long later on down the line I decide to say, you know what, I'm done, don't get mad at me because you already knew this. And I left her for my wife.
Ooh.
So this is why she's this. Yes, my wife. I left her for my
Grab
wife.
my invisible pearls. Woo.
So she got left, and I got married.
But if you were miserable, I don't even knock that. Life is too short to sit here and consider certain things. Like if you were miserable and she knew what the deal was, you can't stay in the situation because you had a kid together. And I refused to do that with my ex-husband. Wasn't gonna happen. He was a dog, and I was like, you don't even respect me enough to at least try to hide it sometimes. Or he was dumb enough to he tried to hide it and couldn't, because women tend to talk after a while. They want to be known.
I ain't hiding nothing. I ain't even care. I ain't care. I ain't care not one bit. And my sister, and the funny thing, my sister warned her. Like, my brother's a dog. He's a dog. You're gonna get dogged out. And
I love him.
She was in love. Don't you do her like that.
hey, listen. And here's another thing. Like, and my wife asked me the question, like, why'd you leave her for me? The reason why I left her for my wife is because I sat down in a house that I own in Fayetteville. I sat down and I thought to myself, like, where do I see myself with either one of these women in 5 years? And the thought in my mind was like, I don't see myself going nowhere with this joker, because she has nothing for herself. She's building nothing. And lo and behold, my wife was building her whole entire, she was branding herself.
Yeah. That's the way it's supposed to be.
So nah. And I have to deal with my sister being a scorned woman, and her being a scorned woman, and the scorned women's club and shit.
And the scorned women come back around and don't let their baby daddies claim the kids during tax time.
Nope. You get $0. And if you get any dollars, they gonna ask you for half, because I gotta ask. But they gonna come get their money.
Yep. That's exactly how it turns out. You can never win in the end.
There is no winning until you lawyer
So
up.
real quick, guys, you guys know, like on the other show, I really, really like to keep it ratchet. I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna pose this question. So in the Kardashian and whatever Black China's last name is household, who's claiming their baby on their taxes?
Say that. Hold on. Wait.
Them people.
1 second. Say that one more time so I can get right.
In the Kardashian, so between Rob Kardashian and Black China, who do you think is claiming the baby on the taxes?
Didn't they get married?
No. They broke up. Like, there was a video of her actually giving head earlier this week.
Yeah, but which
in
is
their
weird
household,
because 2 weeks ago she was on the beach with him, hugged up. In her videos, in her photos.
I didn't see that picture.
I
did not see that picture.
Did you say somebody giving some head? That's what you just said.
I'll send y'all
That's
all
the only part you heard.
Oh, I don't know about that stuff Joker's giving Dome. I don't know nothing about that. But
I sent the link to Blue. He should have shared.
in any event, know what I'm saying? Fuck that.
That shit wasn't nothing to share. That
Yeah, you didn't miss nothing, though. You really didn't miss nothing. You missed how bad it was.
If it sound like that, she don't need to be doing it. But
It was very lazy and uninspired. But who do you think is claiming the taxes between the two of them?
I mean, he deserves to, because he paid for everything, paid for her rent, $16,000 a month. He deserves to. Who has the baby is the question. Is she still raising the baby?
I mean, she actually released a picture, and he said something in the comments like, keep your lips off my kids. Now, that could have been photoshopped. I don't know. But in the picture, that's what it was. It was her kissing the baby, and he was basically like, can you take those lips off my son?
Oh, my God. People so petty.
So apparently the baby does seem to be with her more often.
I seen a video the other day. She was with Amber Rose, and they were having a pajama party, and the baby was twerking.
Whose baby? Oh, no, they have a little girl. I forgot. Oh, the little girl was twerking?
Green.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
baby.
Mm.
See, no, well, I'm not even going to listen. Motherfuckers get asses kicked for shit like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's disrespectful.
All right, final words. Mercedes.
I digress.
Like a motherfucker.
In all okay, so my final word, in all fairness, it's not always about us. It's more so about the children.
Sound like she did.
I'm done. And that concludes.
Man, what you got?
I can't go against what she just said. It's not about me. It's all about him. Get out your feelings.
Boom.
Get right with the kids. That's it.
Oh, Odie, you ain't got no dog in this fight, whatever that means.
I don't. It means like I don't have nothing that like. But I will say my ideal situation would be. I mean, it's all about numbers. So if he would actually get more back by claiming the child, and then I do like a tax, like a quick run of the taxes, and then I see like, okay, he gets more back, then he should be able to maybe go ahead and cut me off a little bit off the top, but I'm not gonna lose my shit if he doesn't. It just seems like so many, like at the end, it's just not worth arguing over. It's money. Like I can always get more money, but I cannot get my time back, and my time is way too valuable to be dealing with any type of bullshit. That's the future baby daddy, hopefully husband.
Boom.
Well, my premise is fuck all this girlfriend, boyfriend, have a baby shit. Let's make sure let's try our best to have children within the confines of marriage or whatever. I mean, I know people get divorced. Work harder to keep the marriage together. Make sure you're marrying the right person by communicating appropriately and
having a baby with the right person.
Make sure you have a child with the right person, but hopefully it's within the confines of a marriage. I say confines because it does lock you down. You dig what I'm saying? West Coast, confines for life.
So teamwork makes the dream work.
Right,
Teamwork.
right. I think, I know, I ain't gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? I've been in situations in which we jumped in way too fast, way too quick, and therefore consequences yielded. Consequences I might be still experiencing today. But if we do better, we be better. We just need to work hard to be better. Wakanda forever.
I'm done with you.
That concludes another episode of He Said, She Said. Well, we kind of talked about these finances, her romances, but we just say who gets to carry the kids on their taxes, Maxes. All right. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Urban Breakdown podcast featuring hit shows such as He Said, She Said, 360 Degrees, Politics, and Black Man's Perspective, which will be back on track this week. Right, Vann? Show you right. That concludes another episode.
Show you right.
Oh, yeah. All right, let me get on this road.
You're not my GPS. 2 steps to the left is west. Dollars in the front, head north. Spin right to the east and dirty south is where I'm from. I like to do what I do. I like to make moves without you. I like to control my own. If I need further direction, I call Tom. We've known each other for so long. It used to be the one I could call on. Time after time you did me wrong. Forgave, but still got played. Sick and tired of your same old selfish ways. I leave and you still wanna navigate. It's so crazy how you think you can run my marathon. It was nice to know you, let me show you. Move forward and pass the baton. I know what route to take. Please don't even fix your face. Just say it or nay. Gonna do what I wanna, regardless anyway. You're not my GPS. 2 steps to the left is west. Dollars in the front, head north. Spin right to the east and dirty south is where I'm from. I like to do what I do. I like to make moves without you. I like to control my own. If I need further direction, I call Tom. Do you miss the late nights? My fresh scent, candlelight, or how I knew just what you like. Been a minute since you've been on cloud nine. The memories got you going crazy. Thought of another man with your lady. You should never get too jealous. To the slums of the earth, how you treating me. take. Please don't even fix your face to say yay or nay. Gonna do what I wanna, regardless anyway. You're not my GPS. 2 steps to the left is west. Dollars in the front, head north. Then right to the east and dirty south is where I'm from. I like to do what I do. I like to make moves without you. I like to control my own. If I need further direction, I call Tom Tom. I know what route to take. Please don't even fix your face to say yay or nay. I know what route to take. Please don't even fix your face to say yay or nay. Gonna do what I wanna, regardless anyway. You're not my GPS. 2 steps to the left is west. Dollars in the front, head north. Then right to the east and dirty south is where I'm from. I like to do what I do. I like to make moves without you. I like to control my own. If I need further direction, I call Tom Tom. You're not my GPS. 2 steps to the left is west. Dollars in the front, head north. Then right to the east and dirty south is where I'm from. I like to do what I do. I like to make moves without you. I like to control my own. If I need further direction, I call Tom Tom. You're not my GPS. 2 steps to the left is west. Dollars in the front, head north. Then right to the east and dirty south is where I'm from. I like to do what I do. I like to make moves without you. I like to control my own. If I need further direction, I call Tom Tom.